state is divided into 7 regions. Region 7 goes from Martin County to Key West. It's the biggest, it's the busiest. It has the most high-profile targets between cruise ships, nuclear installations, and you throw in the fact that the President of the United States comes here, there's a lot of different scenarios that can happen, especially when you're talking about complex coordinated attacks. The goal here today, as in all the other heat shield exercises, we have agencies from all over the county that are going to take different scenarios and work together.
The bus, which we refer to a lot as linear assault, sometimes with the Port of Palm Beach and the people are bussed in, it's always an opportunity for any kind of terrorist activity to actually take place on a bus.
Put your hands up and exit the bus slowly.
Our 5 municipal teams came in coordination with one another and responded to bus assaults, hostage taker situations.
He's cuffed.
Force-on-force situations, and they work together and collaboratively in their tactical operations center to negate the threat. Heat shield exercises are extremely important, and the primary mission that we have in this region is prevention. We don't want an active shooter or a complex coordinated attack or an act of domestic terrorism to happen to any of our citizens in the Quad County area.
At the cruise terminal, they were faced with a multitude of different scenarios to face, from hostage rescue, dealing with role players that were serving as passengers throughout this evening, and just dealing with a lot of the chaos ensues when you have an incident take place at a large event.
You have to be able to operate in any environment. We do it in the daytime, so we do it at night, we do it in good weather, we do it in bad weather.
The scenario that took place here at Port of Palm Beach was dealing with the Connex boxes, where they had to do an extensive search in a very heavily populated area as far as difficult terrain to cover in order to find 3 suspects that had fled the scene.
To have different scenarios put on them at schools, at office buildings, at mass gathering, places that would have mass gatherings, to test their capabilities.
He just said he's gonna shoot him if he moves. He just told him he's gonna shoot him.
It's a multi-county terrorist training exercise, and we are participating, Delray Beach, as one of the municipalities involved in this training. Our scenario here is a hostage rescue scenario. A couple of hostages that are holed up inside of the what we are calling a hotel. It was taken over by a couple of radical extremists.
Move.
Cooperation between interagencies is so critical in any kind of incident.
Right, unsecured stairwell here, hold on.
Yep, we're gonna hold here.
It's so instrumental that we all get together face to face before something really does happen. We know each other and communicate and work together as a team.
Hey! Hold tight, hold it.
We're doing the 3 suicidal subjects who came into the stadium wanting to blow it up during a soccer match.
Gardens has a little bit twist. We wanted to throw in an element of camaraderie between the teams, and they're actually setting up a obstacle course where the teams are going to compete against one another in various aspects of what would be found on a real life call out. So they're going to do simulation on shooting and dummy drags and overcome several obstacles and actually compete for time. The Boynton Beach Police Department has set up a scenario for the SWAT teams to deal with locating and traversing a wide open wooded area. A little bit different from the other training locations, from the stadium to the school. This is actually a very heavily wooded field that they're going to have to traverse, locate the bad guy.
Looks like there's 2 bodies to the right.
Take him into custody. So tonight over at the VA hospital, the Riviera Beach Police Department is in charge of setting up a scenario there for the SWAT teams to deal with any type of active shooter or barricaded suspects, these different teams are being exposed to that situation.
So here at Palm Beach County Fire Rescue Headquarters, we're doing our Rescue Task Force training. But in Palm Beach County, we call it PEM, which is Protective Element Medical Training. And that's where our local law enforcement officers will team up with our local paramedic firefighters and do warm zone extraction.
Both our fire rescue commanders and sheriff office commanders come together and they communicate and run command in a unified command.
And it is a unified response both from law enforcement and fire rescue to work as an armed medicated team and to enter a mass casualty criminal event. We no longer have to wait till the whole scenario is clear. We can bring teams in and work in areas that we refer to as warm zones as opposed to waiting until the whole area is cold.
He needs to go now.
Our unified command is better than we've ever had, and that's some of the stuff we're seeing in the Heat Shield 3. So it's fantastic.
When something like this happens, and how we can work together, how we can communicate, and all those types of things.
With our growing society at this point, it's extremely needed, especially with the growing threats that we have.
And we have to make sure our men and women that are responding out there are the most equipped and the highly trained and the most capable men and women out there.
We're ready for something to come through our city or our county. We're down in South Florida. All these teams are ready to step in front of the issue and take care of the problem and keep our citizens safe.
In order for this county to be able to sustain a large operation, everybody that's in law enforcement has to understand how to work together, how to make it happen, so there's no problems when something like this happens with confusion on communication and who's going to do what.